Hello everybody, hope you're doing well this season here after the great Super Bowl. I had said I was going to do another video for Passin Gas Garage, and again, thank you for subscribing and watching videos. If you like this video, please hit subscribe down at the bottom and hit a like, thumbs up for me. But I had threatened to do a video of a Maserati. It's a 2004 Cambia Corsa Coupe. They made this car from 2002 until 2007. I love it. I think it's just a great car. And I wanted to do a video on, it's a true 6-speed car. However, it's paddle shift. And for those of you that don't know that, it's a manual transmission car. It has a clutch. But the way that you shift gears, there is not a third pedal, as we say. You do it. It's a electro-hydraulic mechanism, basically, that shifts for you. It's a little quicker. It's Ferrari inspired, and it's really, I love it. Some people hate it, but I do love it. I think it's a nice kind of change of pace on a traditional 6-speed, which I love also. But I'm going to show you how it works and how you do it. Without further ado, here is the Passin. So again, this is my 2004 Maserati Coupe. It was out last night, so there's a hair of snow on it, so don't bash me for it. It is gray with gray interior. It's in decent shape, not perfect shape by any means, but really cool car. It is idling now, warming up just a bit, as you can see. I think the design of it, I was looking for a Spider version when I found this car, and I fell in love with the coupe design. I think it's a great design. It's got a couple neat quirks to it that I like. Stock wheels, I got new tires on it, and brakes are upgraded. When I say upgraded, just new pads on it. Put some EBC yellow stuff pads on it. I haven't had them on very long, so maybe the verdict is out on them. But I've had them on some other cars. Got a nice little rumble. It's the stock exhaust. Dual tips. This is a 4.2 liter V8, Ferrari inspired. So Ferrari working in conjunction with Maserati. They both, I guess, kind of co-designed it. A little bit of snow in there that I'll remove before I take off. But again, I think just the design of it's really grown on me quite a bit. You know, 4-wheel disc brakes, Brembo calipers, cross-drilled rotors. Very cool. So that's kind of your walk around. And I apologize again for some of the snow. We just had a snow squall here that was kind of didn't really know it was going to come, and I had the car outside. There you go, there's the snow. Really cool. These windows are very tight fitting, so if you open up the door on one of these, you really can't just pull it open, or shouldn't pull it open. You pull up on the handle, it lowers the window a little bit, as you'll see, and then you open it. Same thing when you open it from the inside. So here is the inside, of course. Here's the paddles that I was talking about. Up there, you'll see underneath, there is no third pedal, so this is it. And I'm going to go on to explain that a little bit more, but I want to show you the engine compartment first before we continue with everything. Alright, we got the hood open. Let's just show you what the deal is here. The hood. See what you think of it. So this is, as I said, the Ferrari inspired, working with Maserati, 4.2 liter V8, red lines at 7,500 RPM. It's 390 horsepower from the factory. So it's a relatively small motor, high RPMs. I think that comes out to be like 258 or 259 cubic inches. That's it. So very small. It is a dry sump motor, meaning that it doesn't have a traditional oil pan. It's got an oil container off under this cover, and that's where you check it. There's a specific way you have to check the oil, at least the level of it. I did that in another video. how to change the oil on this, so you could certainly watch that video. It's pretty interesting how you do it. But you see on each cylinder now that each cylinder bank, in true Ferrari fashion, has the red crinkle finish on the valve covers. So it's red head, like Testarossa. It's red-headed, is what they like to refer to it. Just a nice tradition. You see the Maserati script, of course. I'll throw it to my shadow. But see the Maserati script. See coil on top of each plug right there. So it is a pretty cool engine. Well, let's get back to it. We'll get this down, and we will, of course, show you what's what with this car. And for those of you who wanted to know, it is Grigio Nuvolari is the color. Basically a gray, metallic gray, I guess. And it's just, they always put that there on most of the Italian cars. They'll have a sticker somewhere under the hood of Ferraris and Maseratis, and a lot of the manufacturers do that. Porsche does that. Not as nice as that, in my opinion. They have a little white sticker with all the codes on it, option codes. It's kind of cool. But anyways, let's show you how the business is done. All right. Here's the dash on the Maserati. Again, 2004 Coupe. You see the red line at 7,500 RPMs. It's on the right side. You have the battery and also the fuel level, and then of course, sorry about the sun. The sun is kind of coming in to try to get us there. And on the left side, you have basically oil pressure, and also you have the water temperature. In the middle, you see where it shows the N. That means the car is presently in neutral. There's a brake light on. I just changed the brake pads to yellow stuff, EBC. They don't have a brake pad sensor, so that light will stay on. And of course, the one on the right is for safety belt, which I don't have on right now, to help me move around a little bit. But as you see, the car is a paddle shift. So there's a paddle right here on the left side. It says down. And when we look to the right, there's a paddle that says up. So exactly what they say. The paddle on the right will move it up a gear. The paddle on the left moves it down a gear. So you drive this just like you would a regular manual 6-speed car that has 3 pedals and a shifter down here. So this shifter, you notice, little stubby shifter, and this is what Ferrari uses, Maserati uses. So to put it in reverse, you pick up on this shifter and go back. You'll hear it beep, and you can see the R for reverse. So you have to have your foot on the brake in order to put it into gear, first gear or reverse, etc. That's for safety reasons, so nobody gets hurt. Right now I could change, trying to keep the sun out of this, so I apologize. So right there I hit the up gear, and you see it went into first gear. Now I am holding this camera. I couldn't find a good spot to attach it to, so making it a little more difficult for me. But if I pull up on both of these at the same time, what you're going to see is I just hit both of them, and the car is in neutral. So that gives you the idea how you put it in neutral. And it will rev up just like a 3-pedal car when it goes to shift gears. This one goes to about, I would say 13 to 1600 RPMs before the car will start moving. So we'll start out. I'll try and hold this as we're going along, and show you again how we get this car shifted. All right. I'm going to put my safety belt on real quick. So this sun should stop, shortly once we get going. You see the safety belt, basically that sensor went out, that brake will stay on. You might see during this video some fluctuations on that oil pressure gauge. It is, I've got one on order. It's not working correctly. there's a short at the back of it, and so it will fluctuate all over. All of a sudden the light will come on. Low oil pressure, it's not. I've had it tested and everything's fine there. However, scary the first time you see that. So again, in order to go, what we're going to do is now putting it in first gear. So I hit that, boom, and you should be able to see now that the car's in first gear. So, you know, my foot is off the brake now, and I'm giving it gas, and you'll see the motor rev up, and the car starts to move forward very slowly. So that's kind of what the deal is there. The cars are coming. You can see it rev up a little bit. Car stays in gear. There is an automatic mode on these things, as you see down here, where it says auto and slippery. Nobody, you know, they don't want you using that really, or I should say, what we found is that you shouldn't use that, because it will just eat up the clutch. The clutch in these cars is what everybody's scared of. So now that I want to shift, boom, I hit that, up a gear. We'll be out of the sun here shortly. Again, hit it again. Now, there's two modes to this also. There's a regular mode, which is what it's in now, and there's also a sport mode, which is what everybody wants to recommend using because it shifts just a little bit quicker. Helps to save the clutch, and that's definitely a valuable thing. So we're coming up. If you don't go down yourself in gear, the car, when it hits a certain RPM, will automatically downshift. See, I did not touch it, and there it goes down into second gear. So that's what it'll do there. You can see the lights flickering a little bit over there on the dash on that oil light. So it's kind of a softer shift when it's not in the sport mode. And if I put it in the sport mode, it's definitely a firmer, quicker shift. You'll see a light come on, so I just put it in the sport mode. Of course, you see the oil light flickering right there. And like I said, I've got the part on order, and that might be another video changing that. But and it seems to be, I'm not sure if it's a bad ground or not, because when I let off the gas or hit the brakes or accelerate, you'll see that it goes on and off. So it almost feels like, you know, not that there's a loose connection, but that there is something causing, you know, where it's maybe touching something that's grounding it out, type thing. But a little irritating. But don't panic. I panicked the first time when I saw it, and it's definitely irritating. It's just something with these cars that, you know, it's a hair older now. So we're in third gear. You can see where we are, and now I want to go up a gear. I'll just hit this. Boom. Now it's in fourth gear. Now again, it's a little hard because I only have one hand's on this while I'm doing this. I'm going to pull them both in at the same time, and it pops it to neutral. So I don't go back through all the gears when I roll up to a, you know, stop sign. There I just clicked it and put it in first gear. And as you can see, maybe I should have put this on my head. That might have been a better alternative versus me trying to hold it. You can hear it. So it's a quick little car. No doubt about it. I think that these cars were 0 to 60 in, you know, about 4.5 seconds, 4.6 seconds. So it'll do 180 miles an hour. Top speed is what it was when it was new. And I'm not quite crazy enough to do that anymore. So it's a fun car. So it's easy enough to do the paddle shift, as you see. It is something to get used to, and you got to remember, in a panic situation, you know, what can happen is if you're at a standstill, say you come up to a red light and you have it down in first gear with your foot on the brake, if you're there too long, it will, if it heats up, it'll put it in neutral for you. So that is something, you know, it's precautionary, but you got to remember that you'll give gas and it'll just be revving it in neutral. So I like to do that, but you got to remember you got to have your foot on the brake in order to get it into gear. Again, that's a safety precaution. I don't want you running over anybody. So I'm downshifting now, and it's pretty convenient where they put it. It's always near your hand. There, it slide in a little bit there. And I feel like I got that right in the middle there. It's more of a paddle shift video than driving video, but hey, however. So we're in 5th gear now. Now we're in 6th gear, doing about 60 miles, a little short of 60, 2,500 RPM. So triple that at 7,500 RPMs, you get the $180 out of this car. So said small V8 handles. It's a very firm riding car. The suspension is tight. This is just the stock suspension. They did make one version of this car called the Grand Sport. Same horsepower and everything, just a little different wheels, different head side skirts, a couple other things. It looks just incredibly beautiful. I love the look of the Grand Sport. You know, great cars. I think these are still bargains to be had. Like any car and all, it's a you know, somewhat of a supercar. You know, it's not a Lamborghini, it's not a Ferrari, and it's not a McLaren, but in 2004, no doubt it would hold, and it still will hold its own right now, no doubt about it. It's probably as quick as any new car, other than when you get into maybe the Corvettes and you know, new Ferraris, Lamborghinis, Audi R10s, that type of thing. So it's definitely a quick, fun car. And you know, again, down here is where some of the stuff is. So right above where it says auto, on that is for slippery road conditions, and that just starts you out basically in 2nd gear. You really don't want to do that. Just, you know, it's hard on the clutches in these cars. Going in reverse is hard on the clutches. It's you know, if you were in reverse going uphill, that would, you know, be hard on it, no doubt about it. Again, that red panic oil light, I said, is defective, like oil center. I think the ground, I haven't had a chance to look at it. I do have one on order, and that's probably going to be a video again coming up. But you know, car handles well, very good. So I'm going down gears one at a time, get to the gear I want, get a little bit more in 2nd gear, you know. You know, some people say don't let off the gas when you're going. You don't have to let off the gas. There's a little trash can in the street. So some people say don't let off the gas with these paddle shift cars. You know, I hear that and agree with that to a point. Just as easily, like a true 3-pedal stick shift car, easy enough to kind of rev match things, let it, I don't want to say slide into gear, but when you rev match it, the engine with the clutch and everything, it goes in so much easier, and I think it's less destructive on the clutch. So just let off the gas a hair and I put it in gear and you don't even notice it. So, you know, when you're at full steam, full power shifting, with it floored, for example, you know, it's hard on things. So just keep that in mind, and I'm sure if you talk to other people, they're going to have their own opinion of it. But I do believe that just kind of letting off a hair, boom, goes right into gear then, just like that. They also, on these clutches, you know, they're electronically, you can measure them, the distance. They call it a clutch snap. It's on all the paddle shift Ferraris and Maseratis, and tell you how much, basically you can figure out how much life is left in them. It'll actually tell you, I think, how much it is worn. Is it advisable when you buy one to get that done? I think so. Could you change the clutch yourself in this car? Probably so. But I believe that it's hard to reset the sensor without the proper gear. And there we go, down a gear, going down again. Got a green light here, so I just downshifted it all the way down to first gear. And you'll hear it rev up before it engages. There it goes. Now we're going up a gear, ready? Boom. Hit the paddle up. Up again. Up again. So now we're in again, we get some sun in our eyes now, so sorry about that sun. As you can see, it is a sunny day here. It's cold, very cold. The temperature was about 26 when I went outside and started the car, let it warm up. So it's coming up to so again, I just pulled in both of them to neutral. I hit the down gear, went down into first gear starting out. Second gear. So the hydraulic system has basically brake fluid in it, and it has an electric motor with a reservoir, and that's kind of how it shifts gears up and down. And I need to change that fluid on this car. I have not done it, and it should be done every once in a while. So when it gets a little warmer out and I have a little more space in my garage to be able to move some things around, I'm going to also do that, so that you know, some people say you got to take it into the shop to do that. You know what my plan with that is, and I'll detail that later, is just to empty the reservoir as much as you can without creating any air in it, refilling it up full of clean fluid. And you can do that 2 or 3 times. You know, it'll take you a little while to do it, so I might do it once a week for 3 weeks, and I think you'll get out most of the fluid and basically exchange it. You can do that with your other items, power steering pumps. It's a good way to do it, so you don't unhook any hoses and break them. But that's a different talk. So again, paddles up on the right, down on the left, pull them both in at the same time, and you're in neutral. You definitely got to remember there's no park gear on this, so you definitely want to use your handbrake when you're stopped. I do like to, we're going to go down now a couple gears. There you go. So I went down all the way through the gears, basically first gear. And I will get that irritating oil pressure light fixed, because that is something that just popped up, which is concerning but irritating. And like I said, I checked it. There's no issues. You can obviously hear it. And so that's the deal there on that. And so here we are. Emergency brake on, and we're going to put this car basically into neutral now. I got it. Sorry about that. I just hit both of them when I was holding the camera. Again, I should have had maybe this on the top of my head. But that gives you an idea of a driving video for a true paddle shift F1 car. And this would be the same in a F1 inspired Ferrari, for example. No different. Even the newer ones. This is the true manual transmission of how they do it. Hopefully you found this helpful and enjoyed the video. And I might try and do it again just to show you a little bit more, maybe when it's a little bit nicer out. All right. And again, thanks for watching this episode of Passin Gas Garage, and please subscribe and hit the like button down at the bottom. And if you have any comments, feel free to ask me anything, and I'd love to answer. And if you want to see more videos on this little Maserati, let me know. I'll certainly show them to you. Thanks again.